I have two little girls. They're actually in the next room getting ready for the day, and it's 6 years and 3 years. And it's not unusual for little kids to ask certain kinds of questions. And for example, the question of how is it that when there are billions of people in the world that God can hear all these prayers at once? How can he keep them sorted out? And this is, by the way, a question that adults ask too. And our temptation is to think that God is so smart and so clever that he can keep everything all sorted out at the same time. But that's actually not the right answer, because God doesn't hear prayers the way we do, in a certain sense. That is, he is not discovering the information of the prayer as he's listening. If we want to hear something going on the TV or a broadcast or something like that, we want people to be quiet because we're following the line of thinking, and we don't want interruption. We don't want to lose our train of thought. And that isn't the way that God understands our prayers. In fact, there never was when God didn't know what we were going to pray. He has always known what we were going to pray. In virtue of his omniscience, there never was a time, a when God didn't know that. So he doesn't learn anything when he hears our prayers. He has always known what we are going to pray. Of course, then the question comes up, well, what's the point of praying then? And the point of praying, and now it's going to get a little spooky when you think about this, because God wouldn't know from eternity past that we were going to pray this morning unless we actually chose to pray this morning. He only knows the future acts that we choose to actually do. So the knowledge of the knowledge that God has of our prayers can only be the case in the past, because we are choosing now in the present or sometime in the future to pray to him. So it's our free acts of praying that secure his awareness in eternity of those prayers. The long and short of it is, even though God knows what we are going to pray in advance, our prayers still matter, because he responds to the prayer in virtue of our asking, not simply in virtue of his knowing in advance. Now, I suspect that answer is not an answer you're going to be able to give to your 6-year-old, at least not in that kind of detail. But it's the right answer, and it's one that you as an adult, I'm sure, can understand.